I'm not here. I'm doing shit with the auction.
Jimmy's dialed all the way in. I'm hearing stories about this little private rail empire he's planning on building in gratitude.
Don't ruin it.
Oh, sorry. Definitely don't bid on anything in gratitude. I mean, the thing is, like, so the auctions for I think it was Gratitude, Genesis, and Londom, I want to say.
Yeah, Londom, Uplift still.
Right. Yeah, there's the Swineland Borvalis Uplift that are still left, have a couple more days. Anyway, so yeah, technically ended at 9. Jimmy is still bidding back and forth because, of course, if somebody comes in and scoops you right at the end, you have, I think this is 5 or 10 minutes that Atomic set it up where you can bid again if you want to, so that you can't just get laser scooped by a penny at the end of the auction, which is a good system. But it does mean that people are going to get back and forth on some of these things, so they're not quite done yet, which is fun. So anyway,
how are you guys?
Yeah, listening to Jimmy rant about this stuff has been super fun. We should have had the entire thing online because I think it's it's a thing. He's talking about there's people that are making sort of side deals and strategically planning with each other, which is all about like collaboration. Like we're all collaborating, but we're sort of tacitly sort of competing for space in some areas and stuff. Right? Yeah, Charm City's coach said, good luck, guys. Yeah, I only bid on I bid on a few. I think I got some a couple 250s, Jimmy D.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet. All right. So my hair's a mess. This is me now. This is what I do.
Dude. So are you okay, because we haven't been on air since you attacked a gorilla and broke your clavicle. Yeah. I'm going to start making up stories about this. Actually, you were getting on to a SpaceX rocket and you fell from 10 meters up and broke your clavicle. Because that, you're an adventurer, you're that guy, right? So yeah, you snap the clavicle. For anyone who doesn't know, is this bone right here, which I'm assuming is one of the least favorite bones to break. Yeah, and you had to get freaking bolts and a plate or some shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, so when you go camping and you pick that branch up off the ground that looks like it would be good firewood, but it's still green in the middle, and when you break it, it kind of splinters halfway through. That happens in 2 places in my clavicle.
Oh, dude, that's so that happened to Michelle, right? So we were going, and that's exactly how they described it. So we were supposed to actually go on a cruise. I've always hated cruises, the idea of cruises. I'd never been on one before. So the dogs actually did me a favor. So we got 2 really big dogs, and we were dropping them off at my mom's place, right? And so Michelle had both the dogs, and they hadn't seen my mom in 6 months because she lives in Canada. So they bolted for the door. There's a flower pot thing, in front of the sidewalk that goes to the door. So they jump over it and they launch Michelle. And on this house that my mom lived in, there's metal, or not metal, but concrete windowsills that kind of stick out a little bit, right? So Michelle goes flying and just lands full force on her upper arm. And that's exactly what happened. They basically described it as both bones in the upper arm broke, but they splintered like saplings, right? They weren't dry, and they just so there's pieces all over the place. So she's got a rod that I call her a cyborg. She's got a rod that goes all the way across, and they had to put it all back together. It's just it's the opposite of fun. I don't know how you did that, but you're cut off.
Yeah, it's worse than me. Stop doing that shit. So I just did something really dumb that I shouldn't have done, and I put myself at risk because I'm let's just put it this way. I can
saved an old lady from ninjas.
I can handle a lot, but I have a point where I lose impulse control. Let's put it that way. So I lost impulse control on a Saturday night, which is good. And when I got up, I was like, oh man, that kind of hurt. I was like, it's weird. And then I was walking towards the door because I didn't have a key. I forgot that my missus put it under the place where she puts it. And I was walking to the door, and I was like, oh man, that hurt. And I kind of scratched my shoulder,
Yeah.
And there was
then
like a
almost
weird
passed out.
bone sticking out.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. So I called my mate because like I'd just been talking to him.
Oh,
And I'm like, dude, I think I broke my collarbone. He's like, well, what are you gonna do about that? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I should go to the hospital. So I went out. So I went outside. So I went outside to hail a taxi. And then I saw the flashing lights for the ambulance down the road. So I went and I talked to the ambulance dudes. And they're like, yeah, hail a taxi. So I'm standing in the middle of the road at like 1 o'clock in the night, trying to hail this taxi. I get a taxi. They take me to the hospital. They take me into the hospital. They do the test. They're like, okay, yeah, it's broken. Come back on Monday morning at 10 a.m. and we'll do something. And I'm just like, so then there was a whole other thing that I won't get into. But yeah, so anyway, got back there on Monday. They checked it out. And they're like, yeah, you need to go in for surgery. So on Tuesday morning, I went in for surgery. They knocked me out. Took about an hour. Now I have this. My daughter, she's really cute, and she really likes like Band-Aids because they're like sticky and they say peta peta. But I don't even know if you can see it. But yeah, like this is like basically goes from like the back of my thing all the way to here. And it's a big, sticky bandage that they change once a week, and hopefully doesn't get infected, and I don't get gangrene, and my arm doesn't fall off. That's what we're praying for.
That sounds important.
Yeah. So I'm gonna So I'm gonna spoil it here. I've been grinding all day.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna do right now, well, hopefully I don't get outbid, but I'm gonna create the biggest private rail network in the Uplift.
Oh yeah.
I've already kind of started it.
Can you screenshot? Can you show us kind of where it's at?
Yeah, it's in the south, and I didn't get everything that I wanted, but I got enough stuff to connect like a few of the major players, which would be really fun. Let me just pull this up here. And it's in the south near the
why was there
Gratitude
a war?
Pyramid.
That's crazy. There was a massive war for an Ocean 250 by 250.
Which one was that?
In Gratitude? Yeah, because I love the color coded thing where like
the red one up top. Like, that was huge.
Yeah,
right?
like WTF. That's some crazy shit.
Oh. Okay, that's cool. It doesn't. They show as blue once they're won, I guess, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
that
like,
checks out. Yeah, no, I didn't clue in on that yet, but that totally makes sense.
Cool.
This is cool.
Yeah, I'll show you after all my things turn blue. I'll show you the rail network. It's gonna be really good. So, how was your like? Yeah, you did you?
Oh yeah, they're starting.
Did you bid on stuff in Gratitude or?
I did.
Gratitude kind of went on a slow start, but then when it kicked off, it went like nuts.
Yeah, when it started, yeah, I think I basically just went in and bid on some of the bigger ones, and like some of the ones that like. Is this one still going on?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Sometimes the map takes a little bit to update. I think a couple minutes. So. But yeah, if you remember, I used to do a show with the Nasty Hooks.
Yeah.
And the Nasty Hooks are kitty corner to one of the community plots that I manage.
That's cool.
And so my goal was always to connect us somehow with this weird, nasty rail.
Yeah,
and
just
kitty,
some of the...
and kitty corner in the other direction is a plot that is managed by the Uplift Jedi.
Oh, that's cool.
And so there's a few other people that are involved, but essentially we've created a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block rail network that we can have a private rail on.
That's
like
awesome.
inner rail blocks. If this shit would hurry up and turn blue, damn it.
I believe.
Done. Blue. Sweet. Great. Go. All right. This one. Next one. One more. All right. Done. Sweet. It's not blue, but it says I won. And finally, this one. This is the killer. Done. Sweet. I watched it turn green. That's great. All right. Sweet. Now, I can show you maybe where we're headed. This is going to be the coolest private rail network of all time. And we're also going to turn it into like a little kind of Galleria area, which would be really fun. So share screen. This is what I was busy doing all day. So you might recognize this. This is the kind of temple area that we manage. And there's a really cool Stay Puff Marshmallow Man here, which is pretty brilliant. And there's a Rocket and Groot statue here, which was done by Darkness Rising. And this little piece here, TC has started a portal hub. Of course he has, because he's awesome. There's a little temple here. And you can see the rail that's going around the outside already, which I already kind of put in. This is the sky rail, which is pretty cool. And up here is the Jedi Knights plot. And so we're going to connect that sky rail with these 1, 2, 3, 4 blue plots here.
Yeah.
And down here is the Nasty Hooks best 250 by 250 find buy on the market ever. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I love you, Yoshi, you fucking dudes.
And yeah, so.
Oh man. Hey, Andre. Good morning.
We're gonna connect via this rail network and potentially through here. This is a really cool plot as well. Another friend of ours who's gonna kind of build some stuff, and there's a few people working over here that are working on some cool stuff. So there's going to be this whole like private rail network in the south of Gratitude, which is going to be pretty cool. 2 or 3 different galleries that are going in. Yeah, I don't want to out anyone's wax address because I know who some of them are, and they don't even know who they are. But like that gets really fun when you know who people are. Kansai crypto is pretty easy, but I'm excited. That's pretty cool. That
is fun.
We're gonna have a private rail, sky rail. I mean, I kind of feel like once that sky rail's in, we should allow people to purchase any plot that they want in Gratitude for 5 times the floor price at any point in time.
Well, this is something I've been thinking about. Like
we should
because we've got all this other inventory, right? Like, what if we set it up so that, because I mean, like, and we're gonna do. We're gonna do the snapshot for the DAO tokens. I think that the game plan is still to do that at the end of April. Obviously, we have to analyze how we're doing. What kind of runway we're gonna have, and figure out sort of what we're gonna do. Right, like that. We got to make some important decisions around that. So, I think getting it set up so that we just like. I guess, and I would love all of your opinions, TC, Roger, any of your opinions that are out there, right? Like, because right now, like, we're not gonna have anywhere near enough runway. We have a lot of ideas, for how to get that, and I think it's really, really important for us to very quickly move into other ecosystems, Ethereum, Terra, et cetera, because I think it's important for us to be. Marketing to and bringing in whole other, ecosystems full of communities, right? I think like that's where things are going to start to get really interesting. But, as far as what to do with, the sort of inventory that we have on hand, having, and again, like, I don't know what the right answer for this, necessarily is, right? But we've been having a lot of internal discussions on it. It'd be great to get everybody's opinion. But like, would everybody want to do another auction before before we take the snapshot, just in case there's stuff they want to do or whatever, right? Like is there any downside to doing that, right? It's like people are either gonna grab it or not. And if we did do that, like I'm thinking like we increase the price on it, right? Like that way, like and it just like we signal that every time we do this, the price is gonna go up, right? And if we sell, great. If we don't sell, also great. Doesn't matter, right? And we can just have them trickle out into the ecosystem as demand increases for them, because over time, I personally think that's going to be the case. Did you mean to be sharing your screen? Because you're not.
No.
Okay, I just saw it down on the tray there. No. Anyway, lots going on.
Yeah, and I think like auctions are interesting, right? Because everyone wants to get the biggest deal, and if you were paying attention to what happened with the auction, there are a lot of people that put in a lot of bids, and most people thought that they wouldn't get them all. Right, there were 2 or 3 plots that they wanted, so It's hard. And I do think that we should entertain the idea of, because like there's some really cool people who did some really smart things, right? Like they bought 1 rail plot and 3 or 4 land plots that are adjacent to those rail plots, which is really cool, right? And I think it would be really interesting to even just put rail on sale in some of these ecosystems and hold some land back. And like you said, there's a plethora of things that we could potentially do.
Yeah. And I mean, nothing is one of those things as far as like this stuff is concerned, right? Because we've got a lot of other things that we can work on and get rolling.
But I would like to find a way for people who, even if it's just like a little section, for people who are new to be able to come in and kind of choose random plots. Whether that happens or not, I'm not sure, but I think it's always interesting to allow people to, have choice of certain things at certain times. I like the idea of having like, timed auctions or timed sales throughout the year, personally, because like that way people have a chance to build something and see what other people are building. And it's not always on sale. You can't just go and buy whatever you want whenever you want. But you get some really cool neighbors who are building cool stuff, and that, like the real world, drives up your property value, right? So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I kind of, my high is kind of gone now, actually. I spent all day grinding, which is really fun. But yeah, there's some really exciting things that are, I think, about to happen in the Uplift world. I remember the last time we did the gratitude sale, pretty much the next day that it was over, everyone was in there grinding hard to build, and that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't think that we'll ever use probes again, just because like that's like, I know that you're making a joke, Joe, and that's a hilarious joke, but like it hurts.
You know what though? Like, thank you so much for being here long enough to tell a joke that is that good. I was just putting something in our Discord.
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like what? And there's like, I'm probably talking out of turn here. Oh, nice. Andre got his 200 by 200 from the probe sale. Fucking probes. Fuck. So one of the things I've been wondering about, cause like a lot of these play to earn things, right? Like the last few NFTs that I bought from a play to earn, cause I'm in, messing around with expansion, and they sold some NFTs where you could apply them like to your timer and like get more time, right? So it's like, instead of having to click on it once an hour, which I definitely wouldn't do, you could make it, every 6 hours. And then they actually, sold something to make it every 8 hours. So like, I'm basically buying convenience, right? And like, we're not going to have anything like that, because I think, TC and I agree, like the keeping it passive, on our end for uplifting, I think makes a lot of sense, right? There's a lot of different things that we can do. But like, what if we sold packs, and in those packs were activity multipliers, right? Because just most people know this, but like we give points for almost everything that you can do in the game. Like activity wise, right? And we're not gonna tell you what it is, right? Because like botting is still an issue, very much less than it was at the beginning, right? But we can't signal the things that we're doing, because then everybody, the pools, which are static, will just get optimized by botters, and it makes it tougher for us to find them and right. So we keep it, that's why we keep all that stuff secret, which has been working really well. But like whether it's like riding in a boat or flying or walking around or picking up pumpkins or whatever, like you guys never know. So we always just say, like, if you're playing, that's the best way to optimize. And the value that we are trying to incentivize is playing. And so what if we sold packs that basically had multipliers for different activities, right? And so like you might get a multiplier in there for farming carrots. Well, you don't farm carrots, it's not your thing, so you're probably gonna put that on sale, right? But like I like to ride around in boats, so I'm gonna go buy the ride around in boat multiplier, right? So it just creates that economy. People are gonna like create their own styles, and whatever you have in these. And I guess like we'd have to figure out how to not to make it like, or maybe it wouldn't matter, right? Because we got the cows in there. So like I was just thinking like having it infinitely stackable probably wouldn't even really be a big deal. All right, TC. That's my check for everything, and most people know this. If TC likes it, like that immediately, between you and like everybody on the Uplift team, and of course Jimmy or whatever. But I think TC, between you and Tuttle, you guys are like the sanity check for whatever ridiculous idea I happen to be having in my head at the time. So yeah.
I mean, it's always weird. I took, well, obviously a couple of days off because I was in the hospital. That was my reality check, to be honest. Thinking about this space and where we are, it's like, I mean, it's really interesting to me to think about the fact that this is the beginning. This is the odds and ends sale, ladies and gentlemen. When this is done, we're probably going to be going to other blockchains really soon. We're going to be the hub where people from all blockchains can come and enjoy the metaverse together. And to my knowledge, that doesn't exist anywhere else on the web.
Yeah,
I don't know of any other metaverse where multiple blockchains can have access passes that can come in and wander about together.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. And really, like, especially like shitcoin was a blast, and the thing that I ended up coming to a lot, because of course, like the whole thing is about like fuck maximalism, right? And like that multi-chain thing is the whole point. And that the tribalism, even in the alts or the shitcoins, is still there too, right? And I think like while there's a lot of power and energy and fun even in that tribalism, sometimes I get really excited about connecting all those things together, like making them all part of one community in a way that feels pretty real, right? So that's kind of fun. Also, Tuttle told me to stop brainstorming live on air, and she's right. But yeah.
Yeah, so you went to
too many
shitcoin.
ideas.
Let's dive in there. You went to shitcoin. How was that?
It was great. So Mike Smarticus, the big owl build, out by the STP, Smart Digital Payments. Yeah. He was there, had a booth, right? I'd never met the guy before. He needs to come on the show. Like, I think he's just like sort of shy, but like, he's grab the hook and be like, no, come on the show.
Yeah, we've done a couple posts with him, and he's involved in so many different things too.
Yes. He's doing some really cool things. Meta builders, helping people build into the metaverse and stuff, which is really fun. Smart Digital Payments, he's been doing that for a while. They're starting an NFT line that has VIRLs, and yeah, he's just doing a bunch of really cool things. So it'd be really cool to have him on the show. Super nice guy too. So that was fun. Got like hung out with Biff from Goldman Sachs again, and Nathan McCrory was awesome, and MTC was awesome, and just seeing everybody. The biggest thing for me was being in the same room as Juan and Jose from Nifty Blocks.
Right? Yeah.
Just like
that would have been fun.
Oh, they're just and they're exactly as awesome and kind and fun and cool as they seem like they are. Like I just zero shock there. But yeah, they had a good talk, and we actually got I was gonna get interviewed by NFT the movie, which happened. And I talked about Nifty Blocks a bunch, and they asked finally, like, hey, when we do your interview, like, do you want to do it together with Juan and Jose because they're here? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Nice. So the we did that interview with NFT the movie together, and it was awesome because it just like they'll brag on themselves a little bit, but like I get to brag on them really loud. It's like I'm really proud of everything they've done, and so that part was fun. And yeah, just the NFT the movie crew, that whole sort of group of people are super fun. We get to hang out with them a little bit at the after party and stuff, which was bonkers. Yeah, I think it should be a goal to have the Uplift survive this year. Goal number 1. Goal number 2, have everybody just assuming that we don't do our own sort of Uplift convention, let's just all meet at Shitcoin and dominate the place, because it just like it's good. We just piggyback on that awesomeness.
So it's fun, like I do a show with Sean over at Meta Collect, I guess now, and she used to be crypto writer, and we were talking about the Mogs. Like they've got this release, NFT release over on Ethereum, which for whatever reason, the people, they just love their Mongs. And it's funny because they do these like Mong, the community started doing these like Mong raids where they would just go like into other people's Twitter spaces, and like 40 or 50 of them at a time would jump into another group's Twitter space. Have you heard about the Mongs? Like the Mongs are awesome, and they would just like dominate the conversation, and it drew so much traffic towards this project that like people were just loving it, right? And I thought that was like a really interesting way to do it. And so it's funny because like I think a real life crypto conference where we could all end up together, right? Like, and I think that there's going to be more and more like around the world, everywhere, right? So
agreed. Hey, TC, that's awesome. Austin did a great job last week while we were away. We had Austin Lenny come in and take some shows, and I think he had a blast. I think we're gonna end up just giving him a weekly or bi-weekly show on this channel.
Anyway, we've already branded it and named it.
Oh, cool. All right, so that's not that's graduated from maybe to fuck yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're pretty stoked about it. Yeah, so it'll be really good. Yeah, he's gonna come on and I won't ruin it for you, but yeah, he's got a really cool show that he's gonna be doing on this channel. Because he probably is our ultimate media mogul, to be honest.
I agree.
Every month.
That consistency, right? It's just is something that it's something like we've benefited immensely from that consistency. Like we take the odd day off here and there, but it really is the fact that we just keep coming back over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That does really well. Lisa, by the way, I hung out with I hung with Max Infeld, who's mostly working with Alien Worlds, but obviously he's one of the founders of My Curio Cards. It's like that guy. He's one of my favorite people on the face of the planet. Like it's just the level of conversation that I end up, having with him around all this stuff immediately goes from it's fun. Here's the pragmatic things that we're doing on this level or whatever. Here's how this shit changes the world. Like it just goes like that, like very quickly, like in less than a beer. Like you're talking about some arcane aspect of Alien Worlds or Uplift or and how someday in the future we might collaborate, blah 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 blah, to like these massive sort of society changing ideas. He actually gave me a book a book recommendation that just showed up from Amazon today that I got to read, but it kind of gets into the new kinds of economies of scale when AI sort of makes all the jobs go away, and like when we actually start to focus on finding meaning as hyper intelligent monkeys that we're not going to be able to work in the same kind of factories, like or cubicles or whatever it is, right? Like it's going to be different, and it is such an honor and a privilege to be basically fucking around in the sandbox with a bunch of new tools, iterating on what that might look like, right? It might just be playing games and finding cool things for ourselves to sort of to do and have fun with. And man, yeah, exactly. Thank God it'll be different. Yeah, Lisa said our whole lives are conversations like that. Jealous. I love my brother. It never happened.
Yeah, I'm like the only one in my family that like really does crypto, which is funny. Everyone kind of thinks I'm nuts, and they're probably right, to be honest. I mean, you kind of got to be a little bit nuts to be in this space. There's some highs and some lows for sure. So
Rocket Gallery said, off topic, please enable weather change on Genesis and enable creatures at nights, spicing things up. Mobs in Genesis, like,
yeah,
you'll have to fight me.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like anti-mob in Genesis, just because like I like the fact that like friendly mobs would be cool if we could just have like people that were wandering around cities, but like
again, like we had to tune that down because they like villagers, right? Like we've been down that road, and that's not great for the server. And like the value versus server resources is just fucking flipped over. It's not worth it at all. Right. Like not worth it at all. And the biggest thing we want to do is have more people in there, and that automatically makes it so that we can have less people in the server. So that's just like a hardcore. We already went through that. We're not doing it.
And I actually like just being able to fly around, because like you can't kill them anyway. Right. I mean, you can kill them, but like you don't get anything from killing them anyway. So I actually like flying around and like being able to screenshot galleries without them inside. Like
the weather thing, and I think this gets to the Rocket Gallery, to your point. It's too alone there. That's like a critical important point, right? And there's different ways to skin that cat. And I think like the weather thing is really interesting, right? Because like what we're really saying is like the Vine Gallery or what have you, the Rocket Gallery, they look amazing, during the sun. But like, what if it was raining? And that like that has like it's not great if you're a photographer in there trying to take pictures or whatever, but like it makes it in a way more real, right? Like I've had times where building the Cathedral 2.0 or whatever, where it was raining, like before we kind of simplified it or whatever. So that's a really interesting argument. But I think like where I go back to like the alone thing or whatever, which again, super reasonable. I totally get it. We need more events, right? Like sometimes like during the building, there's not going to be some stuff around, but like having random things that are walking around taking up resources that aren't real to kind of make you feel like that. It's an interesting little stopgap. What's going to be, in my opinion, much better is having weekly events or even daily events where we've got PvP stuff going on, where we're elevating builds like the Rocket Gallery into their own server and having 100, 200, 300 people show up there and really celebrate that in a compressed way, right? We have selfies with hundreds of people and different things like that. I like that. To me, in the short run anyway, like that just seems like the obvious path that we need to put a lot of energy into. But that's just me. What about a special flying NFT for survival? Cost a bunch of uplifting. So I think we actually looked at person to person flying ability.
But we already you kind of can already, right? With the
Elytra, right? Well, and that's the thing too, where it gets into, especially in the survival districts, right? Like anything that is going to impact the economy, the new economy, I kind of don't want to do it, right? Like because that, like, if we could find a way, and I, for some reason, when we looked at this last time, I wasn't sure that we could do it from a technical point of view. But on top of that, like would we want to impact, you know, elytra sales or whatever, right? Anyway. Sorry, there's like tons of comments now. You guys are rocking and rolling.
So I think, you know, on the proximity audio type of stuff, right? Like we're not there yet, but we do have like voice channels set up in Discord. So if it was like a concerted event, you could run the audio through Discord.
Yeah,
I think on screen, and that's, I think that's the best way to do it, honestly. Actually,
yeah, because there's people doing that now. I think like, and using multiple platforms is just going to be, and like if we just need to find ways to reduce that friction, because at the end of the day, the experience on your machine when you're on it, you're going to be in the world and you're going to be hearing things in proximity because you've joined the channel for that thing. Running audio through a Minecraft server, you might as well just start punching yourself in the eyeball with a train. Like, it's not like, at some point it will be possible. It just, as far as development, everybody keeps asking us about it. Every once in a while we look into it, and there's 50,000 other things we have to do first. So I think like off the shelf parts, it's something we do on the team. It's what everyone else should be doing too. We could do it right now. They do it in the Rave Cave for Shipletopia right now. They do it, you know, in a bunch of different places. Do your event. We can obviously do an event server to put hundreds of people in there at a time, and eventually thousands, and just have that Discord channel so that the audio is running on a different channel, and just package that up so that it's really easy for people to get into. Because it's not, you know, a couple different things. It's not that hard. Yeah, concerts live streaming, but only holders can join. That, I mean, like, this is one thing that we've talked about, and this is actually probably the second or third thing that I got asked about at Shitcoin, actually, which surprised me. I want to NFT access my build, right? So the only way you can get in there is if you hold an NFT. I think that should be relatively simple technically for us to accomplish. And again, like now that I'm doing what Tuttle not doing is brainstorm live, but it's too fun, so fuck it. Again, like, and this is the reason we can have these conversations, is because everybody here is smart enough to know that I'm not making any promises, because I can't, right? But you know, so everything that I'm saying, I hold the firm right to just be completely fucking wrong about it, but it would be really amazing. And that's something that I was meaning to talk to the team, but, you know, I'm just sort of getting back myself. So, like, imagine having, you know, like, Bored Apes will get you into a you know, cool party on a yacht, whatever. It's fucking cool. There's no way around it. But, you know, having one of my top things that I've been thinking about is, like, all these games out here, all these NFT collections out there, how do we create meaningful mechanics so that their NFTs can be used meaningfully with the builds? And that seems like one of the easiest, simplest, and coolest ones that we could do, right? Like, you can get into all of our builds, but the only way that you can, you know, step foot onto, you know, the you know, the crypto monkeys, as an example, right? And this goes for whoever, is to actually have one of the crypto monkeys like access NFTs or whatever. I think that would be huge, and it'd be really cool to be able to sort of provide that to people. And of course, that would be a setting that, you know, I would imagine would cost, you know, a pretty nice chunk of Uplift.
I mean, all I'm saying is that when we do have that, you know, massive, you know, uplift party on the ranch, I mean, in order to get, you know, onto the property, you're going to have your land or your rail NFT. But if you only hold rail NFTs, you're going to be screwed, because you're going to be sitting outside of the fence. You don't get to come in the middle where all the cool kids are, because those are the land ones. The rail ones are outside the fence. I get one rail and one land, because, like, that's going to be full access for whatever live event we do. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to need them both. I mean,
fair enough.
A mini 50 by 50 and another mini 50 by 50. That's the new Uplift estate. And I mean, I'm actually kind of joking, but, like, I'm 100% serious. I think someday some of these, like, you know, 3, 4, 5 estates are going to be really hard to come by. You know, so congratulations to all the people that were out there. You know, I'm looking at the map right now. This one dude, he picked up one 100 by 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 50 by 50s, and one 50 by 50 rail. And that's going to make a really cool estate, actually, you know, and that's kind of like what we did. Those are pretty bargain prices too, honestly, Corey, like compared to what some of the, bigger estates that we were selling earlier were. If you were able to find a good area and scope it out, I mean, it's pretty exciting, really.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I mean, more exciting than my stress for the first 10 minutes of today's show.
That's fun.
I went nuts. It was really good though. But might possibly. It's, just flying over the Yoshi Drops Tower by now. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. If you happen to be in the South, TC, I know you are. Start promoting the hell out of your portal building there, because the Skyrail's going in over the next few weeks. And we're gonna kill it down there. So Lisa, there is kind of like, I mean, you could totally probably do that. There is kind of already a weekly event, the Rave Cave. It happens weekly, every week. So they do it over in Shipletopia.
Right. Hey, Lisa, I think I actually just picked up some. I think I just picked up at least one Genesis 250 by 250 today. So, call me. Might be able to help you out.
We should actually do some gratitudes.
We should.
We haven't done
what
that.
The what?
Right. Too focused on. So right. I guess
Jimmy, can you remind me to talk to the team about like the assigning, all the records that you get, the random records that you get, and I think it's per world, right? We can assign MP3s to those records. So like having like tracks that basically, we can, have sponsor tracks in the Uplift every month or something like that. It's the Shibble crew that does that, Lisa. Okay, sorry. Multitasking is not one of my fortes.
Fair enough. Yeah, there were a few 250 by 50s that went out in Genesis, which was good. Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
What's that?
The whales, the Uplift whales. That's always interesting. I don't know who they are. But,
TC. I asked him if he just wanted to like take all my music and sell it and make money for himself, and he refused to make money just for himself. But because he's like, I don't know that I've ever had a bigger fan of my music than TC.
I'm a pretty big fan.
That's true.
But maybe not as big as TC.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Why does it say play offline? I want to play online.
I don't know if I've ever met a bigger NFT fan than TC, to be honest.
That's true.
So,
just loading the game up. As we do this, if anyone wants to, we've got 10 people here. I'd love to see 10 gratitudes for me to put up on the wall. I definitely don't know. I maybe one, like I don't like of my tracks or whatever, but I think it should be other people's music, right? Like we want to bring in other communities and serve other communities, like serving the founders, nascent music habit, not super high value for the whole ecosystem compared to, helping other people to get visibility for their music. I think that would be my preference anyway.
And while we wait, just a shout out to Swineland, Borvalis, Rail, and UpLifters.
2 more days.
Just a little under 48 hours for those left. So, and I mean, Uplift there's been some pretty big battles in Uplift already. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine I'll be here on Wednesday with Corey, giving you guys the final play-by-play, probably of the auction, because Uplift's going to be a little bit massive, I would imagine. There's a lot of people vying for land. It gets interesting when you randomize the land that people get, right? And that's kind of what happened in the early days of Uplift.
Right.
And now they're all like scattered about, and they want to build their little empires.
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely, it's cool.
And this would be like one of the first times that like, because before they kind of had, people kind of had to finagle and trade. And there was one there was one tour bus episode that we did last week, a couple days ago, that had actually a 6 or 7 plot estate in the northwest corner of Uplift. That was this kind of almost, ancient city of sorts with some pyramids and stuff. But that was like maybe the biggest Uplift plot connection of one, wallet that I've seen. So I would expect a lot of this to change after this auction. People are going to actually be able to go and build 100 by 100 builds and add to their things, which is going to be really cool for sure.
Agreed. All right. So thanks, Lisa. Rogers.
I think, Lisa, usually it's Jen that has been DJing in the Rave Cave recently. I know that Nasty Hooks, they were doing it for a while. I think Bullshipples might have done it once or twice as well, but I think recently it's been Jen. But I could be wrong about that.
Awesome TC. All right, Jimmy.
It's tough today, actually. So I've had a lot of kind of downtime last week, so definitely grateful for my family. That's my first one. It got me thinking too, with your little story about Juan and Jose, and just working with the team that we work with, and sitting, waiting, watching with another little problem that I'm dealing with. And honestly, I'm just grateful to finally be working with amazing people. There's a lot of pretenders in this space, but there's also a lot of really true, amazing, wonderful people. And I think a lot of them seem to kind of corral around what we do here in the Uplift. And there's some really, my third one is I'm grateful for our hardcore stand-up community members. I mean, I almost don't want to name them, because if I do, I know I'm going to miss people, but there's so many people out there that tune into the channel, that are running events or quests in the world, that are networking, that are building things. And just this auction, I've been kind of doing a little bit of networking with community members, and finding out, who certain people are a little bit more than I knew. I knew names, but I didn't always know, what their builds were, because sometimes we don't ask. And it's pretty amazing to see these things come together, and how many people are just grinding. Some of them with their last $100 to be able to make more interest than what they would make at the bank, which I think is really quite interesting. And do it with people that they enjoy, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's, and again, we're still at the beginning, and seeing just the insane number of ways that we can, collaborate and iterate and have fun and create economies. It's nuts. It's a pretty intense privilege, for sure. Anyway, yeah, for me, I'm grateful for the grind. And when I say that this morning, it's not just the constant work, and actually prefer when I get into those cycles of momentum where it's just constant. They're not sustainable, but they're really fun. But that consistency that, I think we talked about it, and Lisa Chandler wrote her gratitude about it. And I think, Hustle House talked about this a long time ago, right? Like the people that show up and put a little bit of, a few grains of sand in the pile every single day eventually have a mountain, right? And I think that I think we've seen the benefits of this, even just whether it's with the show or the Uplift or whatever. And I think I don't know, I'm excited to see kind of where that goes, right? Because I think that the one thing I've noticed is that you can go through times where it feels like not much is happening, and then suddenly everything happens. And we're gonna get to another one of those times where things are shocking and messed up and fantastic and awesome.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm excited for everybody who's sticking it out with us, and grateful at the same time, because again, like, without those core people, building the galleries and the game arcs and the survival economy and right, exactly to your point, like we could spend the rest of the day listing off stuff and I'd still miss something. There would be no Uplift, right? Like that's what this is, right? Yes, we have land entities. So fucking what? Lots of people have land entities. Most of them aren't even fucking, you can't even do anything with them. They're not even a place. They're just something that spits out another thing and they call it land. Cool, right? But here we have culture. And I don't know. I get super freaking stoked about that, because I think that's where, like, one of the spots where we are most undervalued is because people have no clue yet how big this is. It goes to something Rocket Gallery brings up all the time, and he should. Like, just getting more eyeballs in front of and experiencing what people are building. So I think that, I keep going back to the events, which is going to be a huge focus for us this year. Tram City, I got you.
I'm kind of grateful for regrets too, actually, in a weird, bizarro kind of way. I don't regret much in my life, but when I do regret something, so they're always
a good lesson
to learn. Right?
Yep, for sure. All right, man. How are you feeling? Okay, like, does it hurt right now? Like, what the shit?
No, it's all right. I'll be back tomorrow. No worries.
Okay. All right.
So
just fucking worry about it. Thanks for saving that old lady from the ninjas.
Right? Yeah, that's good. And so we'll be back tomorrow. On Wednesday, we might just roll solo, or with some of the team members, or maybe even community member to close out this auction. I think that'll be fun. We'll see you guys on the flip side.